Trade is supposed to be an agreement, a partnership, a voluntary exchange of value between equals, but what if that's not what it really is? What if it never was? What if the concept of free trade was just a velvet curtain hiding the machinery of silent control? Because let's be brutally honest, what India had with America was not trade, it was dependence sold as diplomacy. And this wasn't accidental. It was engineered meticulously, systematically, intentionally. Over the past 30 years, India was told, open your markets, let the giants in, liberalize, modernize, globalize. What we weren't told was that the structure was rigged. India became the world's back office, not by accident, by design. Indian talent was extracted to build empires in Silicon Valley while domestic innovation was suffocated. Our manufacturing base was hollowed out. Our agricultural sector, distorted by foreign fertilizers and patented seeds. Our pharmaceutical ecosystem, threatened by Western regulations, dressed up as safety, but written in the language of monopoly. But the real kicker, the asymmetry, America's markets were never truly open. Their subsidies, their protectionism, their legal labyrinths, they were fortress walls hidden behind smiles. Meanwhile, Indian markets were thrown open like unguarded gates, and then came the addiction. American goods flooded our stores, not because they were better, not because they were cheaper, but because policy was tilted in their favor. Because the Indian consumer was subtly retrained through advertising, media, and culture to crave the foreign, to distrust the local, to chase the imported dream. That's not trade. That's cultural anesthesia, and here's where it gets surgical. Every trade deal had a condition. Not on paper, but in practice. Buy this, or we block that. Ban this, or we sanction that. Vote this way in the UN, or we reconsider our strategic partnership. It was not trade, it was leverage, economic interdependence used as a silent weapon, and every time India said yes to the next deal, the noose got tighter. Until something shifted, until India realized that dependency is not peace, it's paralysis, until India realized that true sovereignty means the ability to walk away. Even if it costs you, especially if it costs you, because what is the price of self-respect? What is the cost of sleeping peacefully at night, knowing that your children will grow up in a country that decides its own future on its own terms? India saw the illusion for what it was, a system built to make sure it never caught up, built to keep the East in service to the West, built to keep a billion dreams in a perpetual waiting room while a few gatekeepers decided when asterisk, if ever asterisk, we were allowed to join the table. And in one moment of unspeakable clarity, India said, no more outsourced policy, no more imported truth, no more smiling chains in the name of progress. It wasn't anger, it was awakening, it wasn't rebellion. It was resurrection, and for the first time in a century, the oldest civilization looked the newest empire in the eye and walked away. Not in arrogance, but in silence, the silence of someone who has nothing left to prove, because this wasn't just about trade. This was about freedom, and that changes everything. Absolutely, let's continue this fire. You've heard of colonialism. The ships, the soldiers, the treaties written in foreign tongues and signed under duress. But what if I told you? It never ended, it just changed form. The empires became corporations, the soldiers became servers. The ships became platforms, and the new colony, it wasn't land, it was asterisk you asterisk. India didn't just end trade with America because of goods, it ended it because of asterisk day to asterisk. Because somewhere along the way, trade became digital, and the new oil wasn't petroleum, it was information. Your behavior, your preferences, your fears, your identity, all tracked, all mined, all exported, not with tanks, but with terms and conditions you never read. Not with gunpowder, but with permissions you blindly gave. Let's be clear, America didn't just sell to India. It asterisk harvested asterisk India. The apps you use, the platforms you worship, the tech you depend on every single day, they weren't free. You paid with your attention, your habits, your clicks, your silence. Your data flowed silently across borders into servers that didn't sit in Hyderabad or Pune, but in California and Virginia. And with every swipe, a new file on you grew: who you are, what you think, what you might think tomorrow. India became the most valuable untapped reservoir of human behavioral data on Earth. 4 billion minds slowly mirrored into machine-readable profiles. Not for India's benefit, but to be monetized by ad algorithms training AI models that would never speak Hindi and influence engines optimized to shift emotion before you even understand it yourself. That's not trade, that's digital feudalism. This is the kind of colonization that doesn't need violence. It needs compliance. It doesn't need to conquer your body, just your operating system. And America had built a digital trade structure that made sure India couldn't say no. Every time India tried to regulate its own data, pressure came from Washington, from Silicon Valley, from think tanks suddenly concerned about digital authoritarianism, as if reclaiming your own sovereignty is tyranny, as if not letting a foreign app mine your citizens' minds is oppression. India watched as its youth became addicted to foreign content, disconnected from native thought. Watched as its own data trained AI models that would be sold back to it at premium. Watched as political opinion, consumer behavior, even religious sentiment became manipulable externally. But here's what broke the spell. India realized it was being mapped, not geographically but psychologically. What made its people anxious? What made them buy? What made them break? This was not commerce, this was reconnaissance. And once you see that, you cannot unsee it. India didn't walk away from trade. It walked away from a system designed to extract under the illusion of partnership. It walked away from the idea that progress means becoming a client state to someone else's cloud infrastructure. It walked away from a world where the raw material isn't wheat or iron, but your child's digital footprint handed over by a tap. And it said, enough. It said, our data will live here, our servers will be built here, our algorithms will be trained here. And if that means breaking trade with the biggest tech exporting nation on Earth, then so be it, because no nation is sovereign if its consciousness is outsourced. India finally understood that to control your future, you must first control your information. And to control your information, you must stop trading it away for convenience, distraction, and approval. This wasn't isolationism, it was insulation from digital exploitation. It was not a rejection of the future. It was a reclamation of it. India looked at the terms of the deal and said, this is not a partnership, this is a pipeline. And then it did what no colony ever did before. It unplugged itself from the empire. Let's rip off the next layer of illusion. Every time you bought that cheap foreign gadget, every time you downloaded that glossy American app, every time you praised the speed, the shine, the convenience, something died in India. Not visibly, not with noise, but quietly, in a lab, in a startup, in a mind that once dared to build. This is the ugly truth no one wants to talk about. Global trade didn't just bring competition, it brought suffocation, and not by accident. Innovation is fragile. It doesn't start in corporate boardrooms. It starts in chaotic rooms with leaky ceilings and second-hand laptops. It starts in places where a 21-year-old engineer dreams of solving India's unique problems: water, logistics, medicine, education. But here's the thing, you don't get to innovate when you're buried under a tidal wave of imported dominance. You can't build a new Indian e-commerce platform when Amazon shows up with billions in losses, planned on purpose just to undercut you into extinction. You can't launch a new chip architecture when the components are all controlled by a cartel of Western firms who lock you out with licensing traps. You can't even publish a homegrown search engine when the global ad market is monopolized by two companies who decide which voice gets seen and which one gets buried. You think India lacked talent? No, India was rich in talent. India lacked oxygen, and trade, as it was structured, sucked that oxygen out. Because what is innovation without protection? What is growth without space to breathe? Imagine planting a sapling and then parking a freight truck next to it every day. That's what happened to Indian entrepreneurs. They weren't lazy, they were drowned, the giants didn't compete. They prayed and the cruel irony, Indians were told this was good for the consumer, as if a temporary discount on a Chinese phone justifies the death of 1,000 Indian engineers' dreams. As if cheaper streaming justifies the annihilation of domestic creators. We were sold a drug, the drug of imported excellence, and told it was patriotism to consume it. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, the very nations preaching free trade were shielding their own. American defense tech is not open to foreign firms. U.S. agriculture is drenched in subsidies. Their pharma sector runs on patent protections so vicious, it strangles the generic competition, including India's. They protected their innovators, we exposed ours, so India asked a dangerous question, what if we stop playing by their script? What if we stop sacrificing the next Infosys, the next Bharat Biotech, the next Ola, just to keep playing nice in an unfair global casino? And then came the policy shift. Tariffs rose, regulations tightened, localization mandates were enforced. Western corporations screamed, headlines cried foul, protectionism. They yelled no, this wasn't protectionism. It was resuscitation . India realized it wasn't late to the race, it was running someone else's race, on someone else's track, with someone else holding the stopwatch. And so the plugs began to get pulled, not out of fear, out of clarity, because you don't grow a forest under a concrete dome of foreign control. This wasn't isolation, this was incubation. This was India saying, we will innovate but not under your boot. And here's the most terrifying part for the global elite, it's working. India's semiconductor policy, space tech privatization, digital public infrastructure like UPI, unmatched anywhere in the world. All born the moment we stopped worshipping imported brilliance and started building with our own calloused hands. Because when trade becomes a noose, breaking it isn't destruction, it's rebirth . Let's go deeper into the shadow, most never see the real extraction. This is the part no one dares to say out loud, not in diplomacy, not in newsrooms, not even in the corridors of policy. Because this isn't about trade, it's not about money, it's not about GDP growth, stock indexes, or consumer choice. This is about power, the kind that doesn't wear a flag, the kind that doesn't show up on spreadsheets, the kind that works silently but shapes the fate of nations. For decades, America didn't just trade with India. It extracted strategic power from India, slowly, quietly, masterfully. Under the guise of economic partnership, cultural exchange, defense alignment, all the usual diplomatic poetry, the United States was executing a long game. And the game was this: keep India strong enough to be useful, but never sovereign enough to be independent . And it worked. Look at the pattern. Every major Indian policy was expected to align with American interests. Foreign policy had to tilt toward the U.S. if India wanted economic cooperation. Arms purchases came with subtle conditions. Technology sharing came with backdoors. Indian elections were analyzed, influenced, discussed on American platforms before Indians themselves fully understood what was happening. We weren't just trading goods. We were trading influence and losing. Because while America imported our textiles, pharmaceuticals, and software engineers, it was exporting control . Control over narratives, over values, over decisions. This is the next level colonization, strategic dependency. India would be allowed to rise, but only within the lanes drawn by another power, an ally, as long as that alliance made us predictable. And here's how subtle the trap became. Whenever India tried to assert itself, whether it was buying oil from Russia, securing its borders independently, or protecting its tech space, America responded not with bombs or bullets, but with pressure, diplomatic cold shoulders, downgrades from Western think tanks, sudden human rights lectures, tech bans, visa delays, strategic whispers through soft power networks. Make no mistake, this wasn't random. It was calibrated coercion . You see, trade was never just about economics. It was the delivery mechanism for ideological influence. The carrier, the Trojan horse, and every dollar that flowed between India and America came with an invisible clause, don't step out of line, every tech partnership, a data sharing risk, every defense deal, a dependency forged, every investment, a potential lever of control. India was not just selling software, it was unknowingly surrendering autonomy bit by bit, clause by clause, click by click. And then something broke. It wasn't a headline, it wasn't a summit, it was deeper. It was a collective, internal realization within India's strategic core. We have become predictable. And predictable nations are not respected, they are managed. India saw through the illusion that it was rising on its own strength, when in fact it was rising within a cage. A golden cage, yes, but a cage nonetheless, and so, the most shocking thing happened. India chose discomfort over control, turbulence over submission, uncertainty over scripted diplomacy. It began decoupling not in anger but in awareness. Because it finally understood that true power isn't just the ability to act, it's the ability to act without permission . Ending trade with America wasn't a tantrum, it was a tectonic shift. It was the declaration that India would no longer be someone else's strategic chess piece. Not East, not West, just India rising, sovereign, unpredictable, and that, more than any tariff or sanction, is what terrifies the world's old powers. Because, when a billion people stop asking for approval, the global order cracks. Let's finish this with the deepest cut of all the one rooted not in economics, not in politics, but in something older than empires and stronger than fear . At first glance, it looked like a policy decision, a shift in trade, a diplomatic divergence, but that's not what this really was. What happened when India ended trade with America wasn't just geopolitical strategy. It was a civilizational reset. It was the return of dharmic realpolitik and it changes everything . For too long, India played the global game by someone else's rules. Liberalism, capitalism, internationalism. Words crafted in Western tongues, exported through treaties, think tanks, and textbooks, made to sound universal, but designed to keep power centralized elsewhere. India was told to modernize, translate that, become like the West. Open your markets, loosen your borders. Prioritize GDP over culture, profit over principle, convenience over character. It wasn't modernization. It was mimicry but India is not the West. It never was. It was never built on conquest. It was built on dharma not as religion but as cosmic order social responsibility and self-mastery And finally something ancient snapped awake. You could feel it. The air changed. The silence deepened. India wasn't reacting anymore. It was remembering remembering that it doesn't need validation from collapsing empires, that its wisdom doesn't come from quarterly earnings or Silicon Valley valuations, that trade without sovereignty is slavery and peace without self-respect is decay. This is what dharmic realpolitik means, a foreign policy that doesn't chase applause but alignment, that doesn't bow to morality made in Washington boardrooms but rises from Indian soil, that doesn't confuse softness with pacifism nor strength with violence. It balances, it endures, and when necessary, it strikes *. Ending trade with America was not a rejection of the West. It was a refusal to remain subservient to a dying paradigm. The West is no longer unified, its societies are fragmented. Its values are shifting into chaos, and its economic engine is now running on fumes, desperate to extract growth from the few rising nations left. India saw this and chose not to be the fuel for another collapsing empire. This was not nationalism. This was civilizational intelligence *. This was the understanding that true partnership cannot exist between predator and prey. That no matter how lucrative the deal, if it demands your silence, your data, your children's attention span, your sacred traditions, it's not ideal. It's a ritual sacrifice, so India stopped dancing to imported rhythms. It walked away from unfair trade not with a bang, but with balance the dharmic kind. The kind that understands sometimes the greatest power is in refusal, sometimes saying no is the highest form of creation. And now, the world doesn't know what to do, because for the first time, India is not aligning left or right. Not east or west, it's aligning inward with its own memory, its own destiny. The old world demanded that India be a market, a resource, a client. The new India has no interest in playing that role. It's not interested in global applause. It's interested in clarity Clarity about who we are, clarity about who we serve, clarity about what we will and will never compromise. And that clarity terrifies the world. Because when a civilization that once gave the world zero, yoga, Ayurveda, nonviolence, and the very foundations of philosophy, remembers itself that civilization does not rise. It returns and when it returns, it does not ask for space, it reclaims it. Now you understand. India didn't just end trade with America. India ended illusion, and the shockwave has only begun.